Okay, thank you so much for waiting. So sorry for the inconveniences. Today's agenda includes the following: a welcome part where I tell you hello. That is a real pleasure. So we're gonna have an activity as an icebreaker for us to get to know each other better. Then we're gonna cover some details or some different parts of the academic guidelines for this subject. There's gonna be a question and answer section at the very beginning. I mean, after covering the academic guidelines. Then we're gonna go over some activities to review the content previously mentioned. At the end, we're gonna have another question and answer section for you to clarify some doubts. And I will be closing the workshop with some ideas and also the reminders for future activities. So welcome again, guys. It's a real pleasure to be here with you. And this is English assessment, as I told you before. And I am Mauricio Sandoval, your tutor for this subject, English learning assessment. So let's go over the first activity to get to know each other better. And this activity is maybe one activity that you know already. I'm going to mention three statements, and two of them are not true, but there is one that it is. So you gotta guess what is the one that is real or the one that is true, and you must tell me that's the one that is true and the other two are false. Then some of you will do the same voluntarily. Okay. Thank you so much for writing in the chat. Please make sure that you write your name over there in the chat to let me know that you were here. You can say good morning. This is Fabricio, for example, Erica, Susana, all of you. Okay. Thank you so much. So the icebreaker activity goes like this. There are two truths and a lie. So this is about me, guys. Let me show you. The first statement says, I have more than 10 cousins. That's the first one. The second one is my dog's name is Max. The third one is I've been to Mexico. So in your opinion, what's true and what's false? Do I have more than 10 cousins? Do I have a dog? Have I been to Mexico before?
I think that the light is you have been to Mexico. I don't-
My goodness. That's one. That's the one from the three of them. What about the other two? Because
I
there is.
think
Go
the
ahead.
second one is the lie.
The number two.
It's the lie.
That's the false one for you.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have a
Maybe
dog in
the
your
first
opinion.
one is live.
Maybe the first one.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Somebody else who wants to give a try? Because there's actually one thing that is true over there. Any idea, guys?
The truth that you have more than 10,000.
Not really.
That's
Uh,
beautiful that you've been in Mexico.
That's the real one or the false one?
The real one.
Okay. I wish I were, but no, it is not that either. Maybe Mexican neighborhood here in El Salvador. So, any idea, guys? The number two is the correct one. It is the one that says that my dog's name is Max. Actually, I do have a dog, and its name is Max. Okay, I don't have more than 10 costumes. Costumes, as far as I know, I don't have more than 10. Okay, unless I don't know all of them, and I have never been to Mexico. So, the number two is the one that is true. Thank you so
You're
much, guys.
you're a fan of the Grinch movie.
Hello?
You're a big fan from Grinch movie because
Ah, that's
the
right.
dog's name is Mac.
That's right. The name is Magas. Mine. Very good, Fabricio. Okay, who wants to do it next? But right now, because of time, you just have to mention two, okay? Now it's your turn. You have to, if you don't want to tell us, you can write it down in the chat box, okay? You can write down two statements about you in the chat box and make sure that one of them is a lie and the other is true, and we need to guess. But if there is someone who wants to mention them, if want to save them out loud, you can also do it. If there's someone who wants to participate and tell us their statements, his or her statements out loud, so we can listen to you? Or do you want me to pick someone? Do you want me to choose?
Choose someone.
Okay, Kenya, you.
Hi. Okay. Well, I am Kenya. I
Okay,
am 30 years old, and I live with my mom.
okay. We got three different statements of you. You're Kenya, that's actually true. You are how old are you?
I said I was 30.
Okay, you said you are 30 years old and you live with your mom. So what do you think, guys? What's true and what's false about Kenya?
False is the age, and the true is the mom.
That she lives with her mom.
Yeah.
Kenya. Thank you so much, Diego. Kenya, can you please tell us the real answers?
The real answer, it's only my name.
Only your name? My
Yeah.
goodness. So you're not 30 and you don't live with your mom. Thank you
No.
so much. Interesting. Thank you so much. So Kenya, since you were the one who started the conversation, can you please choose the next person?
Yeah, of course. Diego.
Diego. Okay, Diego. It is your turn. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm 30 years old. My
Okay.
name is my second name is Omar, and I live alone.
Okay. So your second name is Omar. You're 30, you said, and you live alone. What do you think, guys? What's real and what's false about Diego?
The
That's
false is the
me.
name.
I
Hello?
think that
The false
is
is the name, and the real maybe is the age.
The age. So you're actually 30. Your second name is not Omar, according to your classmates. And what about
Yeah.
the last statement? He says
doesn't.
he's living alone.
I'm sorry, doesn't live alone, and the name Omar is not true.
So the only one that is true that is that he's 30, according to you.
The
Yes.
age,
Okay. So Diego, can you let us know the real answer?
Well, actually, yeah, that's true. The
You,
real answer is what Kenny and Susanna said.
okay, you're 30 years old,
Yes,
but
I
you live
am.
alone, and your second name is no more. Okay.
Exactly.
It's Gerardo, actually. I can see it here.
Yes, I realized that when I said it. I said,
Okay. No problem. No problem. Thank you so much. Next person. Ah, Diego, you have to choose the next person, okay?
"Oh yeah, it's going to be easy, Susanna."
Susana. Okay. Let's listen to Susana. It is your turn, Susana. Go ahead.
okay. Well, I have my own house. Um, I don't have parents, and I have one cat and one dog.
Okay. So you said you own your own house.
Yeah,
The second one was you don't have what?
I don't have parents.
Parents, okay? And the third one was that you have one cat and one dog. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yes.
Okay, okay. So what do you think, guys? What's the real one and what's the false one about Susana?
False one maybe is the second one.
Okay, maybe, right?
Maybe.
Anybody else? Anybody else who wants to give it a try? Do you agree, guys? Is the second statement about Susanna the one that is false?
Yes, the second one.
Okay, so Susanna, what's the real answer?
Yes, it's the second one.
It is the second one. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, listen to this, guys. According to Erica, she has been married for a year. She has 4 dogs, and she lives in Sonsonate. So what do you think is the real ones, and what is the false one?
There is only one is true.
Yes, only
Yes.
one can be true.
Only
That's
one
right.
is true.
Only one can be true. That's right. So, guys, tell me. She says she's been married for a year. She has 4 dogs, and she lives in Sonsonate. What's the one that is false in your opinion?
Hmm. She wants to be married, but it's completely false.
I think that
Don't be so mean.
and it's completely false that she lives in Cincinnati. She lives here in San Salvador. I don't know.
Oh, really?
No,
So
she
you're
lives
telling us 2 lies, Erika.
the truth is that the sex she has 4 dogs, I think.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Erika, is it correct?
It's incorrect. Only one is true. I have 4 dogs only. I live
Very
in,
good.
I live in Lourdes, no in San Salvador.
So you were wrong, Fabricio.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen to the other one, Claudia Beatriz. One statement. She says she's 27 years old. The second one, she lives in Cabañas.
The first
So
one is the false.
the first one is the one that is false.
Yes, it's the false.
Claudia? Claudia?
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, yeah, I'm not
You're not
27
27.
years old. No, I'm
Uh,
35 years old.
Okay, well, it's a pleasure to be with you here today. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Okay, Fabricio says I'm a lawyer. Number 1, I live in Usulután. Number 2, and I have 4 dogs. Number 3. So
Only the 4 dogs is true.
the last one is the one that is true.
Yeah,
Fabricio?
actually,
I think that
he's
is a
not a
lie.
liar. He's a liar, but he's
A
not
lawyer or a liar?
Both.
Okay. It sounds almost the same, but it is not. Okay, okay. So Fabricio, what do you think? Defend yourself. Tell us. Tell us something, please.
I'm not a liar. I'm not a lawyer, too. I'm a businessman.
So you're not a liar and you're not a liar either.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you don't live in Usulután. Where do you live?
Sultan is my town,
Ah.
but currently I live here in San Salvador.
In San Salvador. Okay.
Just for vacation, I always visit the Sultan.
Okay.
My another family live there.
Is it far away from San Salvador?
Just 1.5.
1.5 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
So the last person, let's see. We got 2 more. Carmen and Rosillo Mejia. Carmen says, I have 6 dogs. I live next to a river and I don't like pizza. Come on, Carmen. Who don't like pizza? Okay, what's the real ones and what is the false one in your opinion? What do you think? Guys, Carmen says she has 6 dogs. She lives next to a river and she doesn't like pizza.
I think that the lie is that I don't like pizza.
The one where she states that she doesn't like pizza. Okay. So Carmen, what do you say? Is that correct?
It's true. So easy.
It is true. Okay. So you live next to a river? Do you actually
Yes,
live
I
next
do.
to a river? Okay. What's the name of the river, by the way?
Sutunilco.
Really? Where is it located?
Convenience, Sonsonate.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you so much. And the last person, Rosillo Mejia. I study in the other university too, and I love cats. So what's the real one and what's the false one in your opinion, guys?
That she loves cats.
The one where she says that she loves cats because she doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay, Rocio, is it okay?
The truth is that I study in the other university.
But you don't love cats.
No, I
I
don't.
totally agree with you. Okay, don't worry. So, thank you so much, guys, for letting us know more about you. It's been really, really nice. Okay, so let's continue with today's agenda. We're gonna go over some parts of the academic guidelines for this subject, as I told you at the very beginning. We're gonna be checking some important aspects of the academic guidelines file for this course. So make sure that you get your copy of this, guys, because it is quite important that you get a document. I mean, you get this file because it contains all the core information about the course, evaluations, dates, methodology, details that are of big importance for all of us. So let's check some parts, as I told you, because it is, well, since it is a very long document, we wouldn't be able to cover all of it, but we will focus on some parts. The course description, the first idea that we're gonna cover today. So let's listen to some of you. Some of you will help me read. Let's listen to Lisette Guadalupe. Can you hear me, Lisette?
Yes, teacher.
Can you
This
please go ahead
course,
and read? Go ahead.
this course intend to provide you with that knowledge and practice necessary not only to understand the nature of the effective English language assignment, but also to design and apply assessment instrument in the English classroom. It also approaches you to a better understanding of the four macro skills and sub skills together with their task assignment design. And hence, it guides you the necessary tool to succeed in your future performance in English teachers.
Thanks so much, Lisette. So as you could have realized, guys, this course is about tools for you to become English teachers. Okay, it intends to provide all of you with the knowledge and the practice necessary not only to understand the nature of effective English language assessment, but also to design and apply the assessment instruments in the English classroom. So everything goes around that. The instruments, the assessment instruments in the English classroom. It also approaches you to a better understanding of the four macro skills. Do you guys remember the four macro skills? Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Can
Yes.
you tell me what the four macro skills are in English?
Listening, reading, writing, and speaking.
Okay, thank you so much. Very good. And subject skills together with their task assessment design. Hence, it gives you the necessary tools. So here, you're gonna get to know some tools to succeed in your future performance as English teachers. Okay, that's the idea in this course. Remember, guys, that here you're learning English to teach. You're learning how to teach English. So you're learning or you're preparing yourselves to become English teachers, not for anything else. Okay, but to become English teachers. This is the core idea about the course, but we're gonna check some parts of the methodology. So let me ask uh, Erica, Erica Sofia, can you please read the first paragraph, the first paragraph over there?
Okay,
Go
this
ahead.
learning assignment is built around a three-dimensional framework that combines home study, online workshop, attendances, in an online component called Campus. Social integrated methodology intends to help you incorporate the necessary tools in expertise needed to perform successfully at an academic and professional level.
Thank you so much, Erica. This is something that all of you must know, or all of you know very well already. This is the English learning assessment. That's the name of the subject, but the idea is almost the same for every subject in this, uh, let's say, modality. This is a three-dimensional framework that combines home study, online workshop attendance, and the online component, which is campus, the one we all know already. Such an integrated methodology intends, I mean, these three components together intend to help you acquire the necessary tools and the experience to perform successfully in the academic and professional level. And you know that you will study the units corresponding to each workshops at home before attending workshops. Okay? You have to study the material required for each unit and complete the activities assigned. So it is quite recommendable, it's vital, it's crucial that you write down the questions you have about the topics of the sections you have difficulties with. So, and you need to ask questions, okay, through campus or during the workshop. If you don't understand something, you post your questions in the platform, or also here. You can ask the questions orally, or you can also write your questions in the chat box. That's the idea. And the online workshop participation is vital, is crucial. In the workshop, you will ask questions and discuss. We will discuss and practice the topics that you studied in each unit. And the workshops will be student centered. Okay, you are expected to interact with all of us as much as possible in order to take advantage of each session. Okay, so this is the main idea, or these are the main ideas for or about the methodology that will be used in this subject. Now let's move on to a second part, or to the next part, the objectives, the general and the specific objectives. Quickly, let's listen to Carmen. Carmen, can you please read the general objectives for this subject?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Let me see. To provide you with theoretical knowledge about assessment, testing, and opportunities of application to design appropriate assessment instruments in your English classes. To enable you with the opportunity to design assessment instruments.
Thank you so much, Carmen. So the idea here is that you will be provided with the theoretical knowledge about what assessment is, testing, and opportunities of application, to know how to design appropriate assessment instruments in your classes. That's the idea here. And you will be enabled to, or with the opportunity to design those instruments, to know how to evaluate your students. What are the specific objectives? Let's listen to Kenya. Can you please read the specific objectives 1 and 2? Kenya, can you hear me? Hello? Kenya over there?
Excuse me, I am doing my breakfast and I am frying some eggs and I didn't hear you well.
Okay, are you able to read objectives 1 and 2 from the specific objectives?
Yeah. The
Okay,
only
go
thing
ahead.
is, I can see very small the lines. So if I
I think
mispronounce something,
you can
maybe.
zoom in.
Okay.
Are you from your cell phone?
Yeah, I am from the cell
Yes.
phone.
Yes, you have to zoom in using your fingers, okay?
Oh, thanks.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, understand the basic concepts about testing
teaching and principles in order to assess English learning. Number 2, recognize different types of exams and follows practical steps for their elaboration as well as to grade them and give feedback.
Thank you so much, Kenya. Now let's listen to Susanna. Susanna, can you please go ahead and read 3 and 4?
Okay, be aware of the different criteria to design tasks for each of the micro skill: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Design valid and reliable classroom language tests to assess speaking, reading, listening, and writing skill.
Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so by the end of the course, it is expected that you will be able to understand the basic concepts about teaching, testing, and principles in order to assess English learning. I mean, evaluating English to your students. You will be able to recognize different types of exams for you to use them in your classroom and follow practical steps in the elaboration, as well as to grade them and give feedback, which is crucial or important for our students. You will be able to be aware of the different criteria. Okay, this is criteria to design tasks for each of the micro skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It is essential, or it is expected, that we help our students develop those four macro skills. And at the end, you will also be able to design valid and reliable classroom language tests to assess speaking, reading, listening, and writing skills. One more time, the four macro skills. Let's move on. Let's see. So let's check the evaluation part right now. Something about the evaluation or the evaluation of the course is broken down, as you can see in that table. And we will also check the specific details later on. There's going to be a journal reflection that will count for the 15% of the course. And that's going to be based on units 1 and 2. Then there's going to be a quiz, which one more time is 15% of the course from units 1 to 4. Then you're going to complete some assessment designs. They are actually 4 assessment designs that you will complete. And they count for the 40%, 10 per each. From units 3 to 11, you're going to create a e-portfolio, which is the digital weight of a actual portfolio, okay? That counts for the 20% from units 1 to 11. And the course engagement is also taken into consideration. That counts for the 10%, making a total of 100% for you to get a 10 in this subject. Okay, guys? So those are the activities that have been presented to all of you in the core in the academic guidelines document. And we're gonna check quickly what each of them is about. For example, the journal reflection. Let's listen to Fabricio. Fabricio, can you please read the description for a journal reflection?
Okay.
Go ahead.
You will choose a pre-designed test, analyze it, and prepare the journal reflection about it. The reflection must include the principle of language assessment that such a test meets and the principle that doesn't, if applicable. You must support your position with facts about the chosen test and the principle of language assessment. Suggestions about how to improve the test must also be included.
Thank you so much. And this is why it is called a reflection, okay? A journal reflection, because suggestions about how to improve the test must be included. You will choose a test that has been designed already, a pre-designed test. You will analyze it and prepare a reflection about it. And you will include the principles of language assessment, that such test meets, and the principles that are not included in that test if applicable. And you must support your position. So reflection is about telling what you think and also giving suggestions on how to improve that test. Let's continue quickly. Online quiz. Let's see. Diego. Diego Gerardo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Online quiz. Read it,
Oh,
please.
okay. Online quiz, 15%. The individual online quiz will serve the purpose to measure your understanding of the topics that you will study through units 1 to 4. This online quiz will be available in campus only the day and time specifically assigned to it. You must solve the quiz during the allotted period. No quizzes will be responded after the time is over.
Thank you so much. Reopened. Okay. So this is a quiz. This is an online quiz. I think most of you, or maybe all of you, have done this before. A quiz that is enabled in campus, and there is only one day and time specifically assigned to it. And you must solve the quiz during the allotted period of time because they will not be reopened. Okay, after the time is over. Simple like that. Let's continue. Assessment designs. 4 assessment designs. Let's see. Ruth Marlene, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Can you please read that part about assessment designs?
The goal of this four assignment is to give you the opportunity to design your own test to evaluate the different English components skills. One per micro skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. You will receive the corresponding guidelines and evaluation rubrics in order to complete these assignments. Such assignments will be submitted to campus.
Thank you so much. So the goals of these 4 assessments is to give you the chance to design your own tests, okay? To evaluate different English competence skills. The ones that we know already, we all know already. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So you will be receiving the corresponding guidelines, guys, and also the rubrics to complete these assignments. And they will be submitted to campus. Simple like that. So you will be creating assessments for evaluating the competence, English competence skills in your students. Let's continue. A portfolio, 20%. Let's listen to Claudia, Claudia Beatriz.
Okay. Okay, portfolio 20%. The portfolio is a recollection of your work as a student together with your self-reflection on the work you will do through this course. You must include your improved work, journal reflection, and the 4 assessment designs. It is important to improve your work right after you have received feedback from your tutor. This assignment will be done using Google Drive. It is not advisable to wait until the end of the semester to improve and upload your work to Google Drive, since the time allotted for you to finish this activity is going to be limited and should be spent personalizing your e-portfolio. You will receive the corresponding guidelines and evaluation rubric in order to complete these assignments.
Okay, thank you so much, Claudia. So the portfolio is a recollection of your work, okay, as a student, together with your self-reflection on the work that you will do through the course. So let's say that is a recollection of the things you will do through the course, where you will include your improved work, your journal reflection. What do we mean by improved work? That you improve it after receiving feedback from me, okay? Every time you complete an activity, I will be giving you feedback. I will obviously be grading your homework assignments, but you will be receiving also feedback. You must use that feedback, okay? Do not wait until the end of the semester to improve and upload your work, your improved work to Google Drive. We will be using Google Drive for this because this is a digital portfolio, a e-folio, okay? So you will receive the corresponding guidelines and evaluation rubric to complete this. But one more time, and this is a recommendation for everything during the course, guys. Do not wait until the last moment to complete your assignments, okay? The every time you're receiving feedback or every time that you are assigned something or that you have to complete an activity, please make sure that you do it with proper time in advance. That's such an important recommendation. Let's continue quickly. And the last one, this is a part of the presentation that we all know very well. This aspect is meant to evaluate essential elements that anyone who wishes to be successful in the process of learning English at the University of El Salvador needs to follow. Aspects such as class interaction, if you interact here, if you participate here and in the platform, the preparation for the tutoring sessions, the use of English during your sessions, all those details, all those factors are part of participation. So these aspects will be evaluated and they will be evaluated in every workshop and in every forum in the virtual classroom. So the total percentage as we know is 20%. So make sure, guys, that you do your best in your class interaction, participation, attendance, preparation, reading the material, using English, participating as much as you can, because that counts for the 10% of your total course. Let's continue quickly. What is the schedule of the activities? The schedule includes or is broken down as follows. The workshop number one that was supposed to be held today is the one that we're having right now. And workshop number two is going to be on April the 9th. Okay. Then we're going to have the Easter vacation. We're going to move. You're gonna get to complete the journal reflection on Saturday, April the 23rd. Then workshop number 3 is gonna be in April the 30th. Then you're gonna have the online quiz on May the 7th. On May the 7th, the assessment design number 1, which is the midterm exam actually, on May the 21st. Workshop number 4 will take place on June the 4th. Then the assessment design number 2. So all those dates are the ones that you need to keep in mind for all of your activities. Workshop number 5, which is the last workshop, the assessment design 3 and 4, and the portfolio, the e-folio or e-portfolio that will be your final exam, guys. So make sure that you take notes, that you save the dates if you want to in your calendar, but please make sure that you don't miss anything from this schedule of activities. And the resident exam, that is the one that I hope not any one of you will take, because you have finished and you have already approved the subject at the end. I hope. So that is the description of the schedule of activities. I don't know if you have any question this far. Do you have any questions, something that you need to know, or maybe later, maybe at the end? Any question, guys? Is any question? Is there any question? No? Okay, let's continue then.
So far, so good.
Okay, tell me. Hello?
No. By my side, so far, so good. Thank you.
Okay, so far so good. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. With that being said, let's move on to the part of the activities. We're gonna be completing some activities to review some of the information that was presented to you through the different files that were posted in campus. Those documents included information about the units to study, about testing, assessing, teaching, informal assessment, formative and summative assessment, and the norm reference and criterion reference test, the principle of language assessment, and all the different details that you were expected to read. The objectives about this is to understand the difference between testing and assessing, formal and informal assessment, and all the different types of assessment, and also to analyze the importance of the language assessment principles to evaluate the effectiveness of assessment. So, in other words, we are here to learn how to properly evaluate our students. But since the information was a lot, we're going to cover just some parts of it. Now, let's do a practice, an exercise. I want you to look at the picture. And there are two different ideas over there in the picture. Look at the person over there and tell me, what's the profession of the person in the picture? What does she do?
Chef.
She's a chef. Okay. Is a cook. Very good. So, if we apply the concepts of formative and summative assessment, we will say that when the cook tastes the soup, that's formative assessment, okay? The person is tasting the soup. That's formative. But when the guests taste the soup, that's summative assessment. Why? Why do you think that when the cook tastes the soup, that's formative assessment, and when the guests taste the soup, that's summative assessment? Do you have any idea, guys? Any idea about this? How is this related to the idea that formative assessment is for learning and summative assessment is of learning? Any idea?
Yes, me, teacher.
Go ahead, Fabricio.
Uh, I think that in this part when the guest takes the soup, this is a summative assessment because guests are trying to qualify the skills from the chef. For example, the taste, the form, um, the different flavors, vegetables. For example, they are trying to do some qualification about the soup. It's the same in the summative assessment because in this part, a formative assessment evaluates a student in the process of forming their competencies and skills. I think.
Okay, very good. How about summative assessment? Fabricio?
Uh, that's what I'm trying to say, the summative assessment.
Okay, maybe I didn't get your idea. Can you please repeat it
Yeah.
and summarize it?
Yes, summarize it is when the guests are trying to give the qualification to the chef because they are trying to analyze the taste, all the ingredients and the form, and as the is the same the definition in the material. Formative assessment evaluates students the process of forming their competencies and skills. In this part of summative, the guests are trying to qualify that
Very good.
skills.
That's very good. That's a very good answer. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Anybody else? Sorry. Does anybody else have an idea? What Fabrizio said is quite important, correct? He got very good points over there. But is there anyone else who wants to add something to this?
Maybe me.
Go ahead.
Well, maybe. Well, I think that maybe is you can think that you did a great soup, or talking about teaching, you did a great uh plan to teach something, to teach a topic, but when the guests try that soup, they will give you a real feedback. Maybe they will tell you, yeah, it's good, but it's not good enough to satisfy my um what I'm feeling right now. Maybe I'm really starving. I am starving, but doesn't taste like I was thinking. And talking about teaching, the students actually will teach you. No, they're not going to give you a real feedback, but you will notice that maybe the plan wasn't good enough to uh, give that knowledge to all of them or the majority of them. So you will realize that maybe that plan was good for you, but it wasn't for the students. So for the next time, you will do it better and you will improve your way how you teach.
Okay, that's also good. Thank you so much, Diego. Good points over there. Thank you so much. So what you mentioned, guys, is actually good. Very good points of view. You got a very good idea about formative and summative assessment and the difference between the two of them. And I will show you the answer in some minutes. I will tell you the answer, which is almost, it is close to the ideas you mentioned already. But is there anything else someone else likes to share or say about this? Is there someone else who wants to share his or her opinion? A girl, for example. We got two boys already. Is there any girl who wants to say something about this? Hello? No? Do you want me to choose someone? Listen to this. When the cook tastes the soup, that's formative assessment. Why? When the guests taste the soup, that's summative assessment. Also, again, why? Why do you think that happens? Your classmates already mentioned some important details that are quite good, but I got a different point of view that is similar or is close to the ideas they mentioned. So, is there anybody else who wants to give a try and share a opinion about this? An opinion about this? Sorry. No.
I think like in that
Go
way
ahead.
when that formative assignment is necessary because the chef try different ingredients, but um, all we need feedback. So for that reason, it's important to formative assignment because you need time to need to know what is the ingredient, what is the time, the salt, or the different
Very
things
good.
you need to preparation that soup something. And the summative assignment is the product final, I think.
Very good. What you said is quite good as well. Correct. So let me show you guys. This was the question. How is this related to the idea that formative assessment is for learning and summative assessment is of learning? But the answer is, when evaluating the soup, the formative assessment is one in which the cook wants to know what else to add or what else to improve, as your classmates mentioned. For example, the cook may ask, does it need more salt, a dash of oregano? Is it too thick or too thin? So it implies the soup can be altered or corrected. We still can change, improve the soup. It can be altered or corrected because the process is ongoing. It is still happening. Okay, that's the idea here in formative assessment. But once the soup reaches the gases, the summative assessment will evaluate the sub culmination or as a culmination of the work that happened in the kitchen. Okay, so if you were the person who's gonna eat the soup, you will think if it is delicious or not. Okay, that for sure doesn't result in the immediate adjustment to the work. You cannot change the work of the results from all of the work going on the kitchen. Okay, that went on over the kitchen, but you evaluate the culmination, the final result. So I don't know if you understood this, the difference between formative and summative assessment, or do you still have doubts about it? Or maybe you want to add something else to this idea? Anyone who wants to add something to this? No? Is it okay? Is it clear? I hope it is. I hope it is. Even though we're going to continue covering information about this. One more time, guys. The formative assessment is when the cook is still analyzing what else to add to the soup. It implies that you can still modify something because the process is still happening. It's happening or ongoing. But the summative assessment will take place as as an evaluation of the culmination, the final result. And this is something that you need to apply and you need to know for your English classes. You need to use formative assessment with your students. Give them feedback, as your classmates mentioned, to improve their, say, chances of opportunity. And the summative assessment will evaluate your students at the end. You will tell or you will know how much they have learned during the whole course, for example. Now, let's read the following definition. What is formative assessment? Let's see. Lisette Guadalupe, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Can you please go ahead and read that information? Can you please read the paragraph about formative assessment?
Okay,
Go ahead.
formative assessment. The student should be learning from the feedback provided. Formative assessment can be informal, such as faculty comments made in aggregate, or formal, such as a main semester course rubric.
Thank you so much. So the students should be learning from the feedback provided. You give feedback to your students for them to learn. Formative assessment can be formal, such as comments, in a critique or formal. In a critique or formal. So in other words, guys, formative assessment can be informal and formal. Informal like in comments, or formal like in a rubric you use to evaluate someone. Okay, those are the two ways of formative assessment: informal and formal. Now let's continue. What about summative assessment? Let's listen to Ruth Marlene. Can you please read that part, Ruth?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Summative assessment typically come at the end of the unit of course and are meant as final evaluation or summing up of what the student has learned, how successful they have been in meeting course goals, such as final exams.
Thank you so much. So summative assessment usually come at the end of the unit or the course. They are meant as final evaluations, final exams, for example, the summing up of what the students have learned, how successful they have been in meeting the course objectives, the goals, such as the final exam. You have been teaching, for example, you have been teaching simple present, you have been using different activities, you have gotten your students to present, to explain, you have been using different techniques. So at the end, you use a final exam, for example, to know how much they have learned from the content that you taught. Okay, guys, this is summative assessment, something that usually comes at the end of the course. Now, let's do an activity. We're gonna use the chart, the following, the picture that you see over there. And you have to tell me what is the most important or the most appropriate place to locate to put the following activities. We get a choral drill, a pair pronunciation practice, a reading aloud, singing songs, writing a description of the weekend's activity, information gap task, all those activities. So how or where would you put all those activities in that scheme? In the parts of the tasks, the parts of the assessment, or in the teaching section? What do you think? Who can tell me? Any idea? Or maybe you can decide to divide all the activities through the three different parts that we have in the scheme. Maybe the activities, some of them can be used as tasks, some can be used for assessment, and some others can be used for teaching. What do you think, guys? Who can tell me?
Me.
Go ahead, Fabrice.
For me, the first choral drill is teaching.
Okay, very good.
Um, pair pronunciation practice. Um, I think will be assessment. I think.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna check later on, but go ahead. Anything
Reading aloud.
else? Reading aloud?
It's a test. Will be a
Okay.
test.
Okay.
And for the rest, I need help from the rest.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me
Okay.
see. Kenya, Elisa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Any idea where to put those activities into that scheme?
Mm, okay. Let me see.
Okay. They can be tests, they can be parts of assessment or teaching,
I
for example.
remember that I read something related about it on the material, but to be honest, I don't remember it.
Don't worry. There was actually a video about these guys posted in campus. Erica, are you there?
Yes, Rick. I think the short drill pair pronunciation practice is teaching. In assignment, we can choose reading aloud, singing songs. In the test, we can try to reading a description of the weekend activity.
Very good. And also the last one, information gap task. Very good. Thank you so much. So just in case you haven't gotten the idea about this, let me show you the description for each of the three parts included in the scheme, in this diagram. So what is a test? Let's see. Susana, can you hear me?
Yes.
Susana, can you please read what a test is?
Okay. It is a method of measuring a person's ability, knowledge, or performance in a given domain.
Okay, thank you. This is according to Brown 2004. So a test is a method of measuring a person's ability, knowledge, or performance in a given domain. So you're studying, for example, how to properly use conditionals in English. So how are you going to know how much your students have learned about conditionals in English, or about past tense, simple past, simple future, simple present, or any given domain, any given topic? You're gonna use tests, okay? Methods to measure your students' ability, knowledge, or performance in those topics. That's the idea. So, what about assessment? What is assessment? Let's listen to Rocio. Rocio Abisac. Can you please read it, Rocio?
Yes, of course. Well, the assessment, an ongoing process that encompasses a wizard domain.
Thank you so much. Here, differently from tests, assessment is an ongoing process. It's something that is happening, okay? Happening over and over. And that encloses or surrounds or encompasses a wider domain. Since it is a process that is taking place over and over, it will, let's say, cover different parts of your lesson planning, for example. So that's the difference between tests and assessment. Assessment can be continuously happening. And let's say teaching. What's teaching according to Brown 2000? Let's see. Diego, can you read that part, please?
Yes, this says opportunity for learners to listen, think, take risks, set goals, and process feedback from the coach.
Thank you so much. We don't call ourselves coaches, right? But teachers. But this is the opportunity for the students to listen, take risks, to think, to set goals, and to process the information from the teacher, from the coach. This is according to Brown 2004. So this is where students get the chance to analyze the information, to get the information, to set goals for them, to take risks, to process the information and the feedback for the coach from the teacher. This is why the process is called teaching. Now, guys, going back to the question, let's go back to the question I showed you before. Take a look at this again: teaching, assessment, and tests. Now, taking into account that information, how would you locate or how would you put those activities into the diagram? The choral drill, the pair pronunciation practice, reading aloud, singing songs, writing a description of the weekend's activity, and the information gap task. Any idea, guys? Do you have a better understanding of this already? Now that we have described each of them. Hello? See you?
What is a choral drill?
A choral drill is something that the students do together, an activity that the students do together. Okay, let me tell you the definition for choral drill. Choral drill is singing in a chord, in a chord, okay? You know chord or chorus? Yes?
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it is like singing together.
Thank you.
Okay, that's choral drill. Singing a song together, let's say. So guys, where would you put those activities? Where would you place the activities mentioned over there? Any idea? No? Don't worry, don't worry. We're gonna continue talking about formal and informal assessment. I'm gonna read this quickly, guys, because it is a lot, even though I will not read it completely. But we're gonna cover some important parts. To understand a little bit more about assessment and testing, let us study what informal and formal assessments are. Informal assessment is the result of the teacher's observation on a student's behavior or performance in the class. That's informal assessment. You observe your student's behavior and performance in the class. How well or how bad a student is doing in your subject, for example. This type of assessment is unplanned. You don't plan to do this. It means it is done spontaneously. However, it at the same time takes into account the student's participation. Like me, for example, I can tell you who is doing good or who is not doing good in this subject through the different workshops, through the different participation in the forums in campus, okay? Because we as teachers can take into account the participation, the interaction, the behavior, and more details from the students. Some examples of informal assessment may be saying a comment such as, well done, good job, super. So in that way, I tell you or that you are understanding the concepts and you are at the same time applying the concepts by participating, by giving your opinions that are okay or class related. For example, pronouncing words properly or recommending how to improve certain areas of or skills. Another characteristic of informal assessment is that it is less stressing for students. You don't stress if or your students are not stressed if they are told good job or well done. Okay, so this is something that has not been planned, so they don't get anxious about failing or passing a test, for example. But on the other hand, formal assessment is a planned, systematic way of assess, and it may be conceived as judgmental. So your students may think that you are judging them, since formal assessment is planned and systematic. It usually needs the production of written documents, such as rubrics, for example, to provide a score or grade for your students. So, in order to avoid those misconceptions or those confusions about being said that you prefer some students and you don't prefer others, you should use written documents, written instruments to give your students a score of a grade. Okay, you use a criteria obviously in your rubric. For example, manage of the second language, the amount of time for the presentation, the knowledge about the topic someone is presenting, all those details that can tell someone how good or how bad he or she is doing in an evaluation. So, informal and formal assessment can be in the next way or can contain the next or the following characteristics. The informal assessment can be spontaneous, as I told you, can be unplanned. You don't plan to say good job or well done to someone. It is uncritical. People don't feel judged by receiving this type of assessment. Comments are examples, giving immediate feedback or providing recommendations. So after an evaluation, you can mention comments, good comments, or areas to improve to your students. But formal assessment, on the other hand, is planned, systematic, and is judgmental. For example, tests, quizzes, and other activities. And you will be exposed to activities like this, remember, in this subject. So formative is for learning, remember these guys, and summative is of learning. In formative assessment, you use adjustments and you evaluate students in the process of forming their competences and skills. And in the summative, you use to measure what students have learned through the course. So this has to do with the same, helping our students learn or develop the or reach the goals we have set for the course. I don't know if you have any question about all this, guys, all this information, or everything is clear. Is it clear for all of you? Yes? Okay, I hope it is. And there is something else that we need to mention, and this is the non-referent tests and the criterion referent tests. The non-referent tests are intended to be administered to large audiences. Okay, like for example, the TOEFL, the one that you will take at the end of your major. And the criterion reference tests are used to measure mastery of well-defined instructional objectives specific for a program or a course, like for example here in this subject. That's the difference between the norm reference tests and the criterion reference tests. Two different ideas, even though they are used in the evaluation process. Now, I got some questions for you guys, for you to answer. Let me see. Before going over the questions, I need you to tell me if you answered the self-evaluations that were presented or that were posted in campus. Did you answer those self-evaluations? Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I hope you did.
Yes.
Now, let's see. Let me go ahead and show you that part. Can you still see my screen? Yes?
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
able to see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the platform. This is campus, the one that all of you know already. This is the course, English Learning Assessment. And if you scroll down and you access to this platform, in the first part, you're gonna see the social forum where all of you were requested to introduce yourselves with politeness and good manners. Okay. So if you haven't posted your greeting over there, you can still do it. Okay. You can still introduce yourself here. Something else is that in the workshop one tab, you could have found different resources for the development of workshop number one. Sorry, let me show you quickly. So over there, you got the learning path number one file, then the testing, assessing, and teaching activities, the principles, I mean, the information about that, and the principles of language assessment. So after that, the additional material was the principle of language assessment one more time. If you read the information or if you at least scanned, sorry, the information, if you skim or scan the information, you could have realized that this is the information we have been covering today. So let's see. Let's see if some of you have done this. Or at least if you remember something. There were two self-assessment over there. So let me show you the first one. Okay, a moment for me to set everything up here. Let me see. Next. The first one, and this is the second one. Okay, guys, I hope you remember most of this. It doesn't matter if you don't know or if you think you're right or you're wrong. We're here to learn and to apply what we have learned. Don't worry, okay? Don't worry if you think you're not correct about your answers. But remember that we do everything here to learn, to continue learning.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm having an issue with my computer. Please allow me just a moment to fix it up. I'm so sorry about the inconveniences. Can you still hear me? Can you listen to me, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm having an issue with my computer. It's actually with Microsoft Teams. So can you please access Campus right now quickly? We're gonna read the self-assessment together. So please go ahead and access the platform quickly. I just want to show you that quickly. Sorry, guys. Give me just some more minutes, please. I'm trying to fix the issue here.
Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry for the inconveniences. I don't know what happened to my computer. Okay, let me now share my screen again quickly. And let me show you what I was telling you. So if you guys read the information posted on campus, you could have realized that at the end you were given, or there were two self-evaluations for you. So don't worry if you don't know or if you're not sure about the answers, but we're gonna read the situations quickly to check how much you have understood. So let me see. Fabricio, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you please go ahead and read the number one question? Go ahead.
Ooh, it's too small for me.
Hello? Too small?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's better.
Much better, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. The basic area of the University of El Salvador has different groups of basic English. All teachers use the same lesson plans and perform the same activities. That is why it is supposed that all the students have the same skills. All teachers have practiced before the exams to show the student what the exam will be like. Then, when the day of the exam comes and all the exams for all the groups have the same structure, teachers administer the same exam for all the groups. Two groups got good grades, while the other two groups out of four got poor grades. Which principle affected the result for this exam?
So what do you think, guys? Is it authenticity, validity, practicality, 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 sorry, reliability, or watchback? What do you remember according to this scenario, according to the situation happening, this scenario? Any idea? The basic area of the University of El Salvador. Hello?
I consider is reliability.
Reliability.
Later.
Why?
Because the teacher practice with all the students, right? But later, for some reason, some students got good grades, but the other groups not. But everybody have the same information, right?
Okay, thank you so much. You need to pay attention to the details over there. The teachers use the same lesson plans and perform the same activities. So it is supposed that all of the students must have the same skills. The teachers have practices before the exams to show the students what the exam will be included. Then the day of the exam comes, and all of the exams for the groups have the same structure. Imagine Teachers administer the same exams for all of the groups, but 2 groups got good grades and the other 2 out of 4 got poor grades. According to Rocio, this has to do with reliability. Okay? And she mentioned good points. But what about the rest of you guys? What do you think? Any other idea? No? Hello? So, I'm going to choose reliability according to what Rocio said. Thank you so much. Let's go over the second one, and we will check later together. Let's see. Let me hear Susana. Can you please go ahead and read the second one, Susana?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mr. Cardosa has been teaching her student different learning theory and the subject didactic of the English language. 1. Her student had been studying many handouts full of theory and had memorized much information. She has an 80 student class and she's thinking about what of tests she could administer in order for a student to be able to apply all their knowledge and for her not to spend much time reading. She considered that a 20 open question test will be quite difficult to check, which principle is Mr. Cardosa considering.
Thank you so much. Good job. So, which principle do you think Mr. Cardosa is considering? Watchback, validity, practicality, reliability, or authenticity?
Practicality.
Okay, practicality. Practicality. Okay, very good.
Yes, practicality.
Very good. So, Mrs. Cardosa, sorry, has been teaching her students different learning theories in the subject didactics of the English language one. Her students have been studying many handouts full of theory and have memorized much information. She has an 80 student class. Imagine, guys, have 80 students in a classroom. My goodness, guys. Imagine. So it is a very large classroom. And she's thinking about what of the tests she could administer in order for the students to be able to apply all their knowledge and for her not to spend too much time grading. Imagine grading 80 students at the same time. She considers a 20 open question test, but imagine 20 open questions. It is not a yes or no question. It is not a multiple choice question. It is a 20 open question test. And this would be quite difficult to check. So according to you, this practicality, the principle that she's considering. Thank you. But you haven't told me why. You haven't told me why. Can you tell me? Can someone tell me why is practicality the principle she's considering?
Yes, practicality because there are a lot of material to read and memorize for students.
Okay.
And that is not complete practicality for students could be
Okay.
difficult and at the same time difficult for teachers to qualify all that.
To check the
Yes.
exams. Okay.
A lot of work.
That's right. It means a lot of work having 80 students in the classroom. Thank you so much. Quickly, guys. Number 3. Let me see. Let me listen to Lisette Guadalupe. Can you please read number 3, Lisette?
Okay, teacher.
Go ahead.
Mr. Flores is a French teacher. He teaches students who are in the 5th years of the major mother language. He knows that his students have been studying hard and in order to prove how much they had learned, his students are willing to take the DEL DELF exam, which in French proficiency test. Therefore, Mr. Flores is planning his classes including many tasks that resemble the structure of such exam. Besides, when he has to administer exam, he uses DELL like test for students to be prepared to pass that test. Which principle is Mr. Flores applying?
Thank you so much. So, in your opinion, guys, what is the principle that Mr. Flores is applying? Doing exams similar to the Delf exam.
Washback.
Watchback?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Mr. Flores used different type of exam. I think take the DELF and that.
Okay, thank you
Many.
so much. So, listen to me. Listen to this. He's a French teacher. He teaches students who are in the 5th year of the major model languages. And he knows that his students have been studying hard to prove. And in order to prove how much they have learned, his students are going to take the Delf exam. This is a French proficiency test, okay? To know how much French they know. Therefore, Mr. Flores is planning his classes including many tasks that are similar to the structure of the Delf exam. Besides, when he has to administer the exams, he uses Delf-like tests for students to be prepared. So in other words, he's giving his students the idea of how the exam or what the exam will be like. He's giving them the ideas in advance of what the Delf exam will be like. So they can be prepared to pass that test. So according to you, he's using washback. Very good. Let's continue quickly. I think we have in number 4 and number 5, but because of time, we're going to read just maybe number 4. Diego, can you please read number 4?
Yeah. The number 4 teacher, Peñate, is an English grammar teacher. She has been teaching the same subject for 5 years. She has much experience, but she administers similar exams every single year. What happened this year is that Miss Peñate administered the same exam she administered last year, but she included topics that students had not studied yet. Since students did not know many things, the results were not the best. Which principle did not Miss Peñate take into account?
So what do you think? What's the principle she didn't take into account?
Validity.
Validity? Why?
Because he need to use, for example, content validity, concept validity, and phrase validity.
Okay,
And
she
plus
didn't.
different methodology.
Okay, she didn't take into consideration that he hadn't covered all of the content, right, for the exam.
Yes.
Okay, very good job. Somebody else? No? Okay. Now we still have time for the last one, I think. Yes, we got only one more question. So let's listen to the last one. Ruth Marlene, go ahead. Number 5.
Okay. Since the last exam was failed by most of the students, Mr. Peñate has been thinking about the brand new test to administer this time. She is thinking about something alternative assignment instead of having a traditional test, but she is considering that students are not accustomed to having this evaluation, so she is not certain about how the students will react to this case. She wants to administer the one evaluation that is innovating, but that is not completely new for the students, not to know what to do. Which principle is being considered in this s-
Snapshot.
snapshot?
Very good. Thank you so much. So many of the students fail in the exam. So she's thinking about a brand new test to administer this time. She's thinking about alternative assessment instead of having a traditional exam. But she's considering that the students are not accustomed to having these evaluations, this kind of evaluation. So she doesn't know how the students will react to this. She wants to administer an evaluation that is innovating, but it is not completely new for the students not to know what to do. So, which principle is being considered in this case?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see, guys. I'm gonna send this because of time. We won't.
Fire of fire.
Well, let's see. Let's see.
Yes.
Let's see if you were
That's
correct.
my
Very
favorite.
good, guys. You see, you would have gotten a 10. Very good. So the first one was reliability, as you said. Very good. The second one was practicality, as you mentioned. The third one was washback. Very good. Four was validity. And the number five was authenticity. Very good job, guys. That tells me that you understand and that you have read the concepts, the definition. And that is really, really good. Well done. Good job, as the previous comments or the previous information we were reading. Now, let's go over the presentation and let's finish with this. Wait a minute, please. Okay. So, in your opinion, I want you to tell me the following, just to wrap up everything we covered today. Maybe we will not go over the 4 questions, but some of them. Number one, according to you guys, what are the differences between formal and informal assessment? Who can tell me quickly? Real quick because of time. What are the differences between formal and informal assessment?
Well,
Well,
Go ahead, one person, please.
continue, Rocio.
Okay,
thank you.
Rocio, go ahead.
Well, an informal have some characteristics that have spontaneous and unplanned and uncritical, right? But the other hand, and formal assessment, this is planned and systematic and judgmental, right?
Judgmental. Very good. Thank you so much. Good job. Susanna, you want to add something else?
Well, yeah, this is only I saw the in the video and I read all of it, and I found the two part are interesting because as a future teacher we must combine the two because in any academia study plan is follow with which is integrating according to the student. For example, working in group, it is difficult to receive feedback for all the students, while a normal test is measured according to question that everyone reads and go at like a pace. Then I found that interesting because formal and informal it try to, as a future teacher, try to combine all of them.
Okay, that's right. That's the idea. We need to take into account formal and informal assessment when teaching. Thank you so much. Number two, can it be said that all kinds of informal assessment are formative as well? What do you think? Can we say that all kinds of informal assessment are formative as well? Are you forming your students by giving them informal or by exposing them to informal assessment? What do you think? Hello? Question number two,
Mm, if you
Fabricio?
want, yes, if you want to reduce the stress with the students, could be good to use informal assessment. But the thing in this application, informal assessment, is that you can get the real evaluation about how your student can learn.
That's right. That's right. We can take into account informal assessment to form our students, right?
Yeah.
But to a certain degree, we cannot use it all of the time to teach our students or to reach the objectives of the course. We need to take into account that informal assessment can be used just in certain cases, sometimes. That's the idea. Number three, quickly. In your opinion, guys, which is more important, formative or summative assessment, and why? Any idea? Diego, I knew you wanted to participate, Diego. Sorry.
Yes, no
So,
worries.
okay, tell me or tell us what's more important in your opinion, formative or summative assessment, and why?
Well, actually, I think both are the same
Very good. Why?
because I mean the way you create a lesson plan is as important as the summative when you get the feedback because students are expecting that you teach, and if you don't know how to teach, I mean students not are not going to tell you how to teach because that is your job. You have to get the knowledge, and the formative when you create a lesson plan is as much important as summative when you get the feedback.
Very good job. That is correct. Both of them are important. We cannot say that one is more important than the other one, right? They are important, same degree. Okay, and the examples of the tests, we're not going to mention them because of time, but there is a question and answer section right now. Do you have any question, guys, about any coming activity, about anything we mentioned today? I don't know. You have doubts, something to mention? Is there anything you want to say? No? Okay, so far so good, I hope. If you have questions, do not hesitate to write them down in the forums in campus, and I will be more than glad to help you as soon as I can. Please send me a message or post your questions over there, and I do my best to answer them. Now, to finish the closing and reminders, please, this is really, really important. You have to participate in the forum activities. Please make sure that you take the time to participate in the forums. Remember that the course engagement counts for the 10% of your uh, average. And please check campus maybe daily or regularly. If that's the case for you. Please make sure that you check it almost every day. If you cannot do it every day, regularly or usually, let's say. And also do your best. Do your best in this subject because this is an important subject for you to become a teacher. Remember that you are here to become English teachers. So this is something that will help you a lot. This subject, as well as the rest of the subjects, will help you a lot. So do your best in this. Okay, so I think this is pretty much it. Thank you so much. Thank you for attending this workshop. It's been a real pleasure to spend these minutes with you. It's been almost a couple of hours. So thank you so much, guys, for your
Thank you.
attention and your participation. And I hope to see you in the next workshop, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Take
Have a
care.
Bye-bye.
wonderful weekend. See you around. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, licenciado. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, of course. Bye.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.